Welcome back, guys, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I present to you Beyond the Barrel Bourbon's very own Phil.
Uncle Phil.
No.
Dr. Phil.
No.
Man of
Happy
the people.
Friday, guys.
Man of the people.
Are you done yet?
I am now, since you tried to cut me off.
Because you don't need the longest introduction on the planet, man.
It's not about what I need.
Today, we are going to dive into kind of a new phenomenon. You're starting to hear a whole lot about this rare character. It's a new whiskey company. I say new, I mean within the last 5 or 6 years or so.
Non-distillery
Correct.
producer. So they are sourcing Kentucky, Indiana. I think they do a little Tennessee as well.
Yeah, I think they do also. Yeah, so I mean, in doing some
Phil,
research,
that's right.
I know my cousin's a huge fan of, like, our little group that we have. A lot of the guys are big time rare character fans. My cousin has sent us some stuff from North Carolina.
Goodness.
I knew you were gonna have a problem with that one. That looks like the same one that Ryan and I had a problem with at my uncle's house. We would end up having to pull a knife out for.
Can't even figure out which way to go with it.
So it's owned by Pablo and Pete. I had to be careful there.
Petey Pablo?
I was getting ready to say I had to be careful there because I could have gone Petey Pablo real easily.
North Carolina.
My cousin might like that song now. Come on and raise up.
We got a problem.
You've got a problem.
We got a problem.
This particular release is batch 2 of 2025. I know last year was their first year that they did the limited release.
Yeah, there's not much info on this particular batch.
There's not. So I I'm not sure what's in it. If it's Tennessee, if it's Indiana, I'm not sure. I think this one's
it's going to be Kentucky and
yeah,
Indiana.
I think that. Well, I thought this one was all Kentucky, but
no. All right, we got a knife or something?
we don't.
Because it just broke halfway through. Sorry, Todd. We got scissors.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, I think it's a blend. So I think they say it's a tribute to last year's batch 2, which I think for them means it's gonna have a wheat influence.
Okay.
Some wheat whiskey blended in there. I think it's like 7 to 8 year Kentucky and Indiana. Like they were looking for like super decadent, desserty.
So more in your wheelhouse for sure.
Like maple. I like it. This doesn't necessarily seem like my wheelhouse because
I think you're
wheated's not really in my wheelhouse.
No, but the decadent mapley that is.
That is if it's offset by something not sweet. And the question is, will it be too sweet? I'm going to sing while... Do you think you're better off alone?
My buddy over here is singing some 2000 trance. It was a good year for trance, though. All of that Armin van Buren started getting really... But I think, as a matter of fact, I think 2001...
I don't know crap about that.
Was like the first year of A State of Trance, his radio show. So...
Exciting. I'm going to kill myself with this.
I'm waiting for you to stab yourself for sure.
This is out of control.
That was like the very old saying, dude, you're going to kill me.
I don't care about
that was
you.
the very, like, I think it was the, it was...
Half the show's going to be opening the damn bottle.
What's the one with the white wax on the top? Is that very old Saint Nick? I think that's the one. So Ryan brought that by my uncle's, and we had to, that was a fight.
Old Man Winter, maybe?
No, Chris, I'm telling you, like, so yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, oh man, I remember we should have had a knife on standby.
Well, you should have told me to get the wax off before the show
I
started.
thought about it, but then I'm like,
you like horrible.
Hey, he said he uses a lighter to warm the wax. Yeah, but then he's gonna get wax all over my white couch.
I'm getting there.
That's what she said.
I mean, I'm already halfway. No, you're trying to get wax on me. First, watch your hands. Don't get fresh with me.
Nobody thinks like that but you, dude.
Ba-ba, ba-ba-ba. Do you think you're bad?
Sorry, Todd.
I don't think that did much, but
You don't
maybe
want-
it did. But no, I struggle. Detling gives me a huge problem.
Hang on. Oh, that was weak sauce.
Also, Crittenden.
their
cut
wax
above.
Their wax is a pain.
I think my biggest problem I've had was with a Detling now.
No, man.
Yeah,
The worst was
the wax was like an inch thick. I had to carve it.
The worst we had was at Makers where the cork broke in the bottle.
So what's the proof on this? It's not exceptionally high.
I think it's 110, isn't it?
No, it is high. It's 121.46.
What were we talking? We were talking about one earlier that was 110.
Well, some of their last year's batches were 110, 113.
This is real life, man. Sorry, like this isn't pre-scripted, pre-recorded, pre-anything. It was just predetermined that we were going to drink this today.
So it from the description.
To be fair, I asked Phil earlier if he wanted to do this today so we could give Todd his bottle. Felt like we've had it long enough.
The limited description that they give of the bottle, it sounds like they were going for like something super desserty, like super rich, approachable, but like I guess as approachable as a 120 plus proofer can be.
So just a side note, I got to try the Whiskey Tree Steen's seal box pick earlier, and it was fabulous.
That was my bottle.
I know. I hadn't tried it yet. I got to try it. It was good. I thought it was really good.
Man, this is zesty.
There's definitely a citrus note going on here.
Yeah, this is zesty.
Yeah, so my cousin always talks about Pablo and some of the really cool stuff that he does. I did a little bit of digging. I mean, I think he's a bar owner, a restaurateur. He did a lot of time as a bartender. So you'd imagine mixing stuff up, you're able to refine your palate for more experimental stuff.
I think they try to go after.
I agree, Todd. I like the bottle art also. I like it kind of reminds you of Still Austin.
Rare Character kind of sells themselves as kind of a more upscale kind of blender, sourcer. Maybe finding some barrels that aren't necessarily readily available to the public.
This is super citrusy, like just straight
I'm getting
orange.
a lot of fruit here, man.
It literally smells like orange zest.
Some raspberries.
I'm not getting that. I'm getting orange.
You don't get that light berry note.
No, all I'm
almost
getting,
like a tea.
I get tea. I get tea,
raspberry
but
tea.
it's more like an orange zest tea. Like somebody literally just ground an orange up and put it in here.
I do get the orange, yes, but I get raspberries. I get bacon spices. I'm trying to look for like the more richer notes, but it's surprisingly more fruit forward.
It's definitely fruity on the nose. I think we might. Hey, there's definitely a hint of oak there too. If you give it a good twirl, there's definitely a hint of oak there too.
A good bit of cinnamon.
I don't know. What do we have any idea like the rough age of this?
I think it's
Isn't it like 6 to
7 to 8 year Kentucky and Indiana blend, and I think it's mixed with some wheat whiskey.
Okay.
That cinnamon coming through tells me May.
I do like the bottles. I think the bottles look really cool.
Okay, there's some richer stuff going on here, almost like a
I can see
like
the
a vanilla
cinnamon.
honey.
I can see the cinnamon.
Yeah,
But
cinnamon is
it's-
something I typically do get on weeded products. The longer this sits, the more I like the nose.
Me too.
It
It's kind of
doesn't.
it's taming down some of that orange zest and kind of getting more
I feel
into like a
it's-
caramel and.
Yeah, it's getting a little dessertier
Mhm.
as it
There, like if you twirl it a little, I mean, you
a
can
little
definitely.
candied.
If you twirl it a little bit and kind of get after it on the nose, it kind of there's definitely an oak profile there.
It almost looks like there's a little bit of redness here, man,
Redness.
in the color.
Mm.
Like a red pink hue. Yeah, this nose gets better.
I know it's quite kind of
I mean, it
letting
is
it
120 plus.
let it
proof.
open up just a couple of seconds, but
Pretty decent color.
just like I didn't like the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond the other day. I mean, I'm sorry, the Old Fitz 7-year, and we revisited it today, and it was way better today than it was last week. I think we both kind of.
I think this
agree.
MSRP is at about $90.
I think so also.
Although, finding it at that price, I think right now, if you go and look, you'll see it anywhere from $200 to $250 on.
It's a shame.
Online. Yeah, man, I'm getting almost like a
I'm getting a dusty quality.
toaster strudel,
I love toaster strudels, man.
like a raspberry toaster strudel
I love that flavor too.
with some cinnamon, some brown sugar. That orange zest is still there.
It is, but it's not nearly as prominent.
All right. That back palate is the toaster strudel. The raspberry.
That's interesting, man. That's
Up front is the spice and
I was
wheat.
getting ready to say you get a lot of spice up front. On the back end, it's very decadent.
Up front's a lot of the baking spices. I do get a hint of the wheatedness. Kind of front mid palate. I love that finish.
That finish is pretty solid, man.
That fruity finish, but a lot of times when I get those kind of lighter berry notes on the finish, it's a light finish.
Jesus,
But
the nose change.
But you're getting those berries, but you're also getting the hug from the proof and some lingering spice, which I think the finish is balanced really well. Still a little weediness coming through.
It's more weeded on the nose now, like on the revisit to the nose.
Okay, the initial palate from mid palate to finish is great. The initial palate got better that time. I feel like there's this kind of spiced wood profile up front. Pencil shavings, but not
Not the pencil shavings.
like a super high rye pencil shaving kind of note. And it's balanced with that kind of softer weeded note. If you like wheat whiskey, I have no doubt in my mind you'll love this.
Kind of like a Bernheim, but it's not.
No.
It's no. What I mean, like if you like a wheat whiskey, like just a straight like Bernheim straight.
Well, I
wheat.
mean weeded whiskey. Like
This doesn't taste like bread to me.
no, this
It's
is
not
far
doughy.
less weeded on the palate than say a Heaven Hill grain of glass.
So this for me, for what 20?
Which, by the way, this is better than Heaven Hill grain of
for-
glass. And
I don't know if I can say that.
cheaper.
I don't know that I can say that. I do like the weeded Heaven Hill grain of glass, which is weird because I don't like Heaven Hill. I like
That's weird.
Larceny barrel proof, and I like the Heaven Hill grain of glass. I like this. I mean, for $20 more, you're getting this versus that old Fitz 7. I like this more. And again, it's also has a lot more proof to it too. So there's that.
It's also, you're probably not getting it for $20 more
Somebody did.
if you find it. Man, yeah, this one gets better. It gets better. Um, the mid palate to finish has been great this whole time, but the initial palate's getting better.
There's an orange zest on the tail end of it,
I feel like
but I like it.
initially there's like rye and wheat battling each other out. That's what it tastes like.
I can
Like,
feel that.
and I can't quite figure out who's winning. But
I
I
get
think
more.
the more it sits, the more rye I'm getting.
I'm getting more rye on it.
And I don't even know if there's. I know that the batch 2 they say this is a tribute to is a blend of rye and wheat whiskey. So it wouldn't surprise me if there. Who knows what's in here, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some rye whiskey in here.
Right.
But to me, it feels like they're battling it out. I prefer more high rye notes than wheated notes,
Right.
and I feel like the longer it sits, the more of that high rye kind of note comes through. Less of the wheated note comes through. Because you're already getting sweetness from like the fruit and everything.
Are you getting
like that.
any? Yeah. So there's something on the tail end that it said. I said orange zest, but it's closer now to like an earthy note, like a grassy kind of, just like kind of earthy, right? Kind of like willety. I like it though. It's very unique, man. It's got there's definitely a lot going on with it.
Earthy? I mean, I think it's earthier up front, but on the finish, like I said, the finish to me is kind of like a fruit pastry. Maybe a little.
I'm not getting the
custardy?
dessertiness though. Like I'm not finding a whole lot of dessertiness on this.
I mean, it's not what I would say like super mapley or super caramely or chocolatey or something like that, but like I can definitely see some like fruited dessert vibes going on here, like a fruit. What do they call those? What do they call those pastries?
Danishes?
I don't know. It don't matter. But like a light crusted pastry or maybe like a I would say a tart, but this is sweeter fruit. But I could see it. It's desserty in that sense.
You gonna tip it? I do. I like the rye aspect of it. Like I can taste the rye in it. I ran out.
That mid palate's great.
Finish
is great.
I like the finish. I like and it lingers. Like it stays with you for a while.
I mean, I do get a hint of wheatedness with so that's why I'm kind of getting that pastry note, because I'm getting a little bit of the light bread note mixed with a sweet, light berry
Right.
fruit. Tip it.
I think Todd's gonna like this one.
I would definitely be interested to see how this stacks up in a blind.
What would you blind it with though? Like, I do feel like the grain to glass would be a good comp for it.
I mean,
Yeah, because I'm just trying to think. Like, what else could you put against this that it wouldn't stand out too much? You know what I mean?
I feel like you can. The problem with the grain to glass is I don't feel like I get that much of a fruit profile on it.
Right.
It's more of a doughy, rich profile.
That's weird because I don't get that, man. I don't get the doughiness on it.
And like I feel like you could blind this with weededs or high rise, and it's going to completely change what you're tasting.
I was gonna say maybe the Bardstown bottle and bond, but I think the proof differential would be too obvious.
I mean, you get the spice.
Because that's what this reminds me of. It has that rye spice. I know there. I don't want to say I know, but I'm pretty sure there's no rye in the Bardstown bottle and bond, the weeded one, the black label one. But to me, there's a note in it that gives off that rye vibe like this has, and this reminds me a lot of that. This to me reminds me of a proofed up version of the Bardstown weeded.
I think if you don't, maybe a good, maybe a Weller full proof.
You think?
I mean, you're talking about a higher proof Weller weeded, but you get fruitiness.
The problem with that is it's only what one, aren't those still in the low 1 teens? I don't think they're super high proof, are they?
Yeah, it's still gonna be
Higher than 100 proof, right?
It's gonna be higher than, you know. It's gonna be. I think you just once you start getting to 120, if you can get to within 10 proof points, I think you're fine. I think if the problem is, I think if you don't blind this with a weeded bottle, then that doughiness is going to come through. Let's say I think if you did it against high rise, it would be more doughy.
And then if you did it against weeded, it's going to be more rye-ish.
I don't know. I think it would be a safer bet because I think the weeded note is just more distinctful in general. I think it would be safer to go against other weeded. So maybe a full proof Weller. I don't quite remember the proof on the grain to glass Heaven Hill.
I think they're up there. I think they're.
I know they're up there. I think it's more than this.
Or is it? I thought they were in the upper 1 teens.
No, I think it's hotter than that.
I can't remember.
I think it's hotter than this one.
You know, there's a Found North weeded right behind you. You want to see if that one tastes as bready?
You know that's not.
It's not even. No, it's
you just want to drink Found North.
It's a safe bet that I want to drink Found North every day.
Well, let me tip it before I do. I mean, I would comp it. I would say those two come to mind. The full proof and the. And I guess you can do the Heaven Hill grain to glass.
What about a big proof makers?
They don't really have big proof makers. I mean, what's the highest one?
What's the Cellar Age? Cellar Age is up there in proof, isn't it?
It's not that high. I mean, it's close enough.
That's what I mean.
I don't think the Cellar Age is too leathery. I think you would be better off with like
a wood finishing,
like a Lost Recipe maybe.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit better.
we could put the what is it, the heart release up against something else, and maybe it won't be so. I don't know, man. I was so disappointed.
Lost Recipe, you get the fruit on.
Yeah.
Weller, you get the fruit on. I just don't really get fruit on the Heaven Hill grain to glass, but it's a high proof weeded, so I mean, it would be an interesting 4-bottle blind. I would say those 3.
So I'd be curious. So this might be something we could do too. I don't know if anybody's got it.
I'm trying.
We're trying, dude.
It's
Phil's in trouble.
I'm not in trouble.
What about doing a grain to glass weeded and a grain to glass rye against it, and then putting like Weller
grain to glass rye is just so rye forward.
It is, but I'm getting a lot of rye on this.
I'm getting nothing like that. Nothing. That is minty, herbally rye.
Tip it, Phil.
81 tips.
There you go.
81 tips.
You heard it, Todd. 81 tips.
It's a buy at MSRP. Obviously not a buy at $240 or whatnot. You might see it online for. It's complex enough to where it's one of those bottles that's gonna change as you sip it, change as you smell it, change as it sits, and I think it's a great blind bottle. even still, I think maybe even if you want to do like complex kind of things, maybe a K-Loop kind of blend too.
I
Um,
was kind of curious how this would stack up against that Minnick pick, because that was throwing us all over the place the other day.
I this is in that vein in that it's complex and changing,
And
just
proof,
like that
and
one.
proof there. I mean, they're almost the same proof. What's the proof on this? 122-ish? 121. And that's what the other one's 123.
I feel like this is one where when you go back through the blind, you're gonna be like, well, that tastes different.
Mm-hmm.
I think the K-Luke's like that. Not necessarily like I think anything Buffalo Trace is kind of consistent, and like the full proofs are just gonna have that fruity note always present. Lost Recipe would probably also be.
We should do that. Todd, if you're not doing anything this weekend.
I would say I would comp the Maker's Lost Recipe, a Weller Full Proof. I think those two would be better than the grain to glass, but if you're just looking for,
I don't think anybody has any more grain glass.
I do.
You got the weeded?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you had it.
Throw that one in there as well. And I think that's your 4-bottle blind.
I think so.
But I would say this is more in the vein of the Lost Recipe foolproof. Fruity, a little bit of sweetness.
So you're
The slightest hint of weededness.
you're at 81.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go 76.
81 with the caveat that it was getting better.
I'm gonna go 76 with that same caveat.
This could vary easily if on a 2-ounce pour been a 83 by the time we were done, and who knows after it sits
Yeah.
for a month or two.
Well, and that's why I'd rather give it. I want to give it room to improve, essentially, right? I think for me that could be an 81, 82. But for me, it's not. It's just not there yet. But I can see how it's gonna. I can see that it's gonna open up.
I mean, there's not a lot of info out on this. It just released here within the last like week or
Yeah.
so.
I've
So,
seen
like,
it twice. So
It might have not. It's probably still releasing in other areas. So if you see it
yeah, if you
at $90,
if you can get it at $90, it's kind of worth the experiment.
pull the trigger on it.
Do not pay secondary for this. Don't pay single and a half for this.
No, I think top it out at $100. If you just really want to get into that rare character limited release experience, it's $100. I could see someone charging that for it on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could see them charging more, obviously, but if they're in that 100 to, I don't even know. These might have been 80 on the shelf. I don't even remember, but I want to say let's just cut the difference, say $90. I would say at 100 or below, especially if you're into the rare character
Right.
line of whiskeys, and if you had any experience with their last year's batches and you liked them, that's worth a shot. Basically, anything rare or limited nowadays that's under $100 is becoming a rarity.
Right.
So
A rare character, if you will.
So if you want to experiment a little under $100 and not, I say go for it. Buy for me at SRP. Willing to go $10, maybe $15 above, but that's about it.
Here you go.
No secondary on it.
Not even kind of. So
Unless you're into that.
we're not.
Unless you are into that.
And I said we are not.
You don't know what I'm into.
I know everything. I know you better than you know yourself.
No, I'm a doctor and you don't even know it.
You're not a doctor.
I am.
You're a fake doctor.
I'm not a fake doctor.
You're a fake doctor.
Doctorates are real.
Okay.
Jealous.
Yeah, look at the jealousy
Jealous.
rolling right off my brow.
Looks like it.
I hear you. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We truly appreciate all the support. Like, comment, subscribe, share it away for all your friends to see. Which bottle is worth secondary? No, none that I've had.
Depends.
I've never had one that I'm willing to go pay 2, 3, 4x MSRP for. I've not had.
That's
I've
not all
had
secondary bottles are that much.
I've not had a single bottle that I would do that for. But to be fair, Todd, I don't support secondary at all. So like I passed on a bottle of Found North, my absolute favorite bottle, Batch 9 Found North. I passed on it for like $25 over MSRP. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not.
To go
I'm not supporting that. I don't
double on some things, man.
I don't support gouging, and I never will.
Like I'll pay twice as much, maybe even a little more for a Coy Hill.
I mean, I've done that, but
or something like that.
The only time I've done that, I did it with Coy Hill, and it was because I support the store owner. Because the store owner helps us out with a lot of different stuff that we're able to use for the show. So I had no problem paying extra for something specifically to him. You know what I mean?
I'll pay extra for things.
What I mean by that, okay, I'm not buying it from some random dude that got it at a good deal and he's flipping it to make a profit. I'll buy it from I'll pay extra at a store. Like I have paid extra for Weller 12s at a reputable store. A couple of reputable stores, right? But I'm not going to pay Joe Schmuck walking down the street. You want this Weller 12? I got it for $2.25. No, I'm just not doing it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So that's maybe it's a me thing, but
I mean, if people want to pay that much, let them pay that much. It's
I'm sure any store owner would say, here, I'd gladly sell you a Weller 12 that I just told you 2 seconds ago I didn't have. I'd gladly sell it to you for $200.
Maybe.
So
I don't know.
That's like the third spam
$200
call.
That's
the third spam call I got.
To use not $200 to somebody else,
I guess, man.
If you don't care, and you just want the bottle, get the bottle.
It is what it is.
The market exists for a reason.
We will see you guys next week.
Buy your whiskey however you want. Just drink it.
That's pop it. What'd they say? If you got it, pop it, or something like that. Pop it if you got it. I don't know. You said it. Pop them if you got them.
What?
You said
I have
that.
no clue what this guy's talking about.
He knows. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about. So
he's 6 pours in.
Yeah.
Trying to pour Found North.
I'm gonna pour Found North. So
Spigot's open.
It is. It's open today. It's Friday.
Todd, I got like 8 bottles coming your way. And by that, I mean like 2.
And by that, he means like 1 7/8.
This is going to be it.
No, it's not.
Like Dr. Phil, like Dr. J right here.
Dr. J, huh? Not your best attempt.
7 inches off.